So as I said, our theme for February is prosperity is a love language. And today's message is inspired by three people that you may not think would have something in common, possibly. And so it's inspired by prosperity master teacher Catherine Ponder. And we've been journaling through her book. Our book of the month is Dare to Prosper by Catherine Ponder. And we started our book study this past Wednesday, and that goes on every Friday, every Wednesday in February. So inspired by Catherine Ponder and pioneer hip hop artists Eric B. and Rakim. They have this song called Paid in Full. So I don't know if I have any hip hop heads in the house today, but back in the day, Eric B. and Rakim they were, should I say dope? They were dope. They were dope. And they had this song called Paid in Full. And so one of the lines in the song goes like this: and together we get paid in full, thinking of a master plan, because ain't nothing but sweat inside my hand. Woo! And the beat to that was, oh my God, it was fire, y'all. It was fire. So I decided, you know what? Catherine Ponder, Eric B. and Rakim, prosperity. I think there's something here. So I said, who can I consult for this? And immediately what popped into my mind was Chat GPT. So I went to Chat GPT and I said, because that's how we roll. How does Eric B. and Rakim and Catherine Ponder share ideas? How is prosperity related to each of them? How do they relate to one another in prosperity? That is what I asked. And Chat GPT said, that's a very good question. Thank you, Chat. I appreciate that. Look at Chat affirming us. Isn't that something? And then it said that there are some very interesting philosophical overlaps about prosperity, despite Catherine Ponder, Eric B., and Rakim coming from different worlds, hip hop and New Thought Christianity. I'm going to share just two because Chat gave me like 10 things. I'm just going to share two of the ways that Chat GPT gathered up all of this information and said that they overlap in these ways about prosperity. One, prosperity as a mindset. We know that prosperity is a consciousness, a prosperity consciousness. Chat says Catherine Ponder teaches that prosperity starts with a mindset of abundance and positive thinking. She emphasizes affirmations and faith as key to attracting wealth. Eric B. and Rakim, they express a determined mindset towards financial success. And Paid in Full, Rakim is focused, strategic, and confident in his ability to manifest wealth. And then Chat GPT quoted from the song, thinking of a master plan, because ain't nothing but sweat inside my hand. Chat said this line mirrors Ponder's belief that prosperity begins in the mind before it manifests materially. Here's the second way: taking action towards prosperity. Catherine Ponder teaches that prosperity isn't just about thinking positive. You have to take action, whether it's tithing, visualizing, or making strategic financial moves. Eric B. and Rakim, Paid in Full, the whole song is about action. Rakim isn't waiting for money to come to him. He's making moves, planning, and executing his vision. He's thinking of a master plan because ain't nothing but sweat inside my hand. So we can see that Catherine Ponder, her work around prosperity, and Eric B. and Rakim's hip hop song, paid in full, are expressing the law of prosperity in their own unique ways. So we get to express the law of prosperity in our own unique ways. So the question is, how are you expressing it in the world? How are you expressing the gift that you are in the world? How are you being of service? So I was trying to imagine Catherine Ponder rapping this verse from her book, but it just wasn't clicking for me. But I want to share with you. If you wish to enjoy prosperity and success in your life, you have to consciously, boldly, and deliberately take hold of your thoughts and feelings and redirect them towards prosperity and success. It is up to you to dare to choose and radiate outward through your thinking what you really wish to experience in life. Rather than getting bogged down in unpleasant or failure experiences of the moment, these conditions can change just as quickly as you can change thinking about them. So we can apply this to what we are experiencing in this country right now, right? Do you dare to choose and radiate outward through your thinking what you really desire to experience in your life, rather than getting bogged down? Are you getting bogged down in the collective consciousness of fear and separation? So let me be clear. This is not about ignoring anything. This is not about putting our heads in the sand. This is not a spiritual bypass. This is not acting as if a thing is not a thing. This is not calling what it is what it is. This is about what my girls keep saying to me, that I stand on business. They're like, Mama, you stand on business. So I'm standing on business about the small r reality and what we can do and how we can use the law of prosperity to demonstrate the abundance that we are naturally. So in what ways are you radiating prosperity in your life now? Catherine Ponder says that we need to remind ourselves that we must radiate the prayer method and not the scare method. The prayer method and not the scare method. I think that's a little rap that Catherine put in right there. The scare method or the prayer method, right? During these seemingly times of uncertainty, fear, and separation, what is your radiating method? What is your radiating method? Is it prayer? Is it scare? Is it complaining? What is it that you are radiating? Because we're all radiating all of the time, consciously or unconsciously. Catherine says to choose and radiate mentally, to choose and radiate emotionally, to choose and radiate consistently and persistently the truth of who we are. We've got to radiate deliberately in order to attract the good that we desire. Otherwise, we get into a limited thread, a limited trend of thought, and produce limited results. We must be consistent. We must not be willy-nilly. We must not be in the sometimes. We must be in the everyday, because every day is not sometimes. So the prayer method or the scare method. Many of us are practicing no complaining this month. So are you in the complaint method? Whatever method you're in, how is it working for you? What is that method supporting you and radiating into the world? Now, Eric B. and Rakim teach that we have a master plan and know that we are already paid in full. Our presence here on the planet is a demonstration of a master plan coming into form. Each of us individually is a master plan of the divine, of God, of source, of that which is, call it whatever you want. We are a master plan. What are we doing with this divine plan that we are? Our prosperity is in the sweat in our hands and in the power of our thinking. We must be in action. We can't just sit and think and think and think and think. Ernest Holmes said, we treat and we move our feet. He did not say we treat and we go to sleep. He did not say that. So we are in action. We are conscious. We are awake, alert, and aware. Prosperity is not something that exists outside of us to be attained. Rather, it is an inner state that manifests outwardly. Spend more time within. The Tao Te Ching says what? Within is where the treasure is. In Dare to Prosper, chapter 2, Catherine Ponder titled it Substance, the Key to Prosperity. And so today's talk is paid in full, source, substance, and supply. So I just want to share a little bit about substance, about supply, and about source. Paid in full, substance. Catherine writes this: we are always molding inexhaustible mind substance through our mental concepts, whether we are aware of it or not. But often we mold tangible things, conditions, and experiences that we do not want. We spend time, energy, thinking on things that we do not want, that we do not like, that we do not want to see more of. And yet we spend an inexhaustible amount of time focused on that, instead of focusing on that which we desire to see expressed in the world. We can narrow it down to two categories, two large categories: molding the substance of love, molding the substance of fear. We have the choice. We must dare to focus on what we desire to see manifest in our lives and in the world. So do not allow the 24-hour news cycle to distract and disorient and overwhelm you. Remember, the orientation is inward, not outward. Paid in full, supply. Ernest Holmes writes in the Science of Mind text, supply is the general term used to cover every conceivable need. Supply is synonymous with substance. God is the substance of all things, and the substance is itself the supply of every demand that we can make. But the demand must be made as you believe. Each has the power to demand their share of the gift God has provided of health, wealth, and power. Each is supplied as they believe. What is it that you are believing? What is it that you are demanding? Ernest said, the demand must be made. So what are you demanding? What are you invoking? What are you decreeing in your spiritual mind treatments when we're in that realization section? Demand it. Demand love. Demand it being expressed more fully through you and as you. Paid in full, source. What is source? You can name source whatever it is that you like. You can name source your name. I call source God. Source is the inexhaustible one, is what Ernest Holmes says. The inexhaustible one. Can you imagine never being exhausted? Oh, I experience exhaustion, right? But there is a power greater than I that is never exhausted. Never exhausted. Do we get what that means? There's nothing that can exhaust source. Nothing. And no one that can exhaust source. We cannot exhaust God. Give God all your stuff. He will not, she will not, they will not, it will not be exhausted. So turn it over. We cannot exhaust love. Source is love. We cannot exhaust love. Try wearing love out. Let's do that. I'm going to wear love out on you today. What if we all practice that? Especially with the people who think differently than we think. People that we may be in disagreement with. People that we may on some level or degree other. Let's exhaust them with love. We cannot exhaust the inexhaustible one no matter what. Even when we feel exhausted, there is a power greater. Even when it appears the world is going to shit, there is a power greater. Even when you feel doubt, fear, and worry, there is a power greater. Even in the midst of uncertainty, seemingly uncertainty, because I know that there is a divine plan. I know that there is a master plan, and I will not be distracted or disoriented by what is showing up. Because I know there is a power greater, and that power is inexhaustible. Inexhaustible. And so that is the power that I tap into. That is the power that each one of us makes a choice to demand to tap into every day, not sometimes, because every day is not sometimes. So someone says, don't focus on how big your storm is. Focus on how big your God is. Let us know today if we have forgotten, if we have been so overwhelmed by all of the stuff that's getting thrown at us. Let us remember today that there is a power greater. Catherine says, it is up to you in this wonderful age to claim your spiritual dominion of great good over everything and to dare to subdue, change, or reform our world as you wish. Of course, you have been given all of this power to produce good and only good. Man's difficulties come when he uses this power in reverse, using the power ignorantly, using the power unintelligently. The power, the law is impersonal. Everyone gets to use it. What are you demanding? How are you using the prosperity that you are already? The Bible teaches us this. There's a chapter in 1 John that's headed Spirit of Truth and the Spirit of Error. And this speaks to man's difficulties when he uses the power in reverse. The spirit of truth and the spirit of error. 1 John chapter 4, verse 4 and 6. You are of God, little children, and have overcome them, because God is in you. The God who is in you is greater than he who is in the world. They are of the world. Therefore, they speak as of the world, and the world hears them. We are of God. We are of source. We are of the inexhaustible one. And those who hear us, those who are not of God, does not hear us. By this we know the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. So even when it appears like error will have its way, there is a truth greater. There is a truth greater that abides within each one of us that is not of this world. And that truth is inexhaustible. So let us remind ourselves every day, every time you hear something cray cray, don't go there. Don't go there. Gather yourself up. Plant yourself fully and completely in the oneness that we are, and know the truth again, that there is a power greater, that I am prosperous now, that no harm shall come to me. Remind ourselves every day that we are of God. We are of source. God is our power. God is our substance, and God is our supply, supplying every need. So we are already paid in full because we know the spirit of truth. We know the spirit of truth. Through and as God, there are no errors. Separation is not aligned with the spirit of truth. Greed, hate, othering, genocide, war is not aligned with the spirit of truth. God supplies all of our needs, including the strength, the resilience, the fortitude, the divine protection. What is it that you need? Declare it, demand it. It is already yours. Align with it. Ask and receive it. Demand and know it. Demand to be paid in full. Source withholds no good from us. No good is withheld. It is given as we believe. What are you believing? It is given to the degree that you are receptive. How receptive are you? It is given to the degree that you are in the flow of sowing and reaping. What are you sowing? Prosperity or scarcity? What are you sowing? Love or fear? So let me close with the words of Rakim. And Rakim was also known as God MC. Rakim was no joke, y'all. Eric B. and Rakim, y'all better recognize, y'all better go on YouTube and find out if y'all don't know. So let me close with those words. And together, we get paid in full. Thinking of a master plan, because ain't nothing but sweat inside my hands. Together, not separate and apart, but together, we get paid in full. As oneness, we get paid in full. So let us submit this with our affirmation for February. I am prosperous now. Let us root ourselves in that all month long. If you find yourself in complaint, shift and say, I am prosperous now. Remind yourself as often as you need to, you will not exhaust God. I am prosperous now. And we share this prosperity by sharing our gifts, our skills, our talents, our treasures, our love. That's how we demonstrate that we are already paid in full. We are in the overflow of love. So let us affirm, I am prosperous now. So I'm going to help you all out again like I did last Sunday. We're going to say it 10 times together now. You only have to say it 90 more times, sometime the rest of this day. So let's take a breath together. I am prosperous now. 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 And so it is. And so it is. Peace and blessings, everyone. Peace and blessings.